Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I wanna talk to you about the 3 lessons that I wish that I've learned in my early 20s in terms of women's empowerment, in terms of finding my confidence and wanting to pursue health. So I think I owe quite a few people this particular video because those of you who follow me on YouTube, you would know that I actually started YouTube talking about my carnivore diet journey, and what I'm doing now is not too far from what carnivore diet essentially is. It's just that I have evolved quite a fair bit because after being on it for 5 years, I have noticed some things. I have done some blood work and decided that, okay, going all strict with carnivore, it's not going to be useful for me, and I will share with you at the very end of the video some of my lessons on the diet itself. So I think one of the lessons that I wish I knew early in my 20s was to really understand how to take care of my hormonal health. So we are not educated, at least not in my school, not back then, because, well, I'm a millennial. I'm 37 years old this year. So I never learned about my hormonal cycle. I just know that, okay, you will bleed once a month. It usually lasts from 5 to 7 days, and what you have to do. Things like birth control, ovulation, luteal phase, all this jargon, right? It's just like out of the world. It's just not in the things that I was taught, not even in school, but basically my group of friends, we don't even talk about this, right? We just talk about the fact that, oh, you know what, I'm having my period, but that's it. I wish I knew my hormonal health way earlier on because I would have done things a lot differently. I might have skipped some medication, but I think my whole point of sharing this is so that for those of you out there who are seeking, trying to improve your health, trying to feel good, feel confident. I think essentially we all just want to have that kind of freedom in that sense, feeling good in our body, being able to do the things that we want to do. I think this is ultimately all of our goal, and it is to have quality of life. My advice is for the young women out there, if you are still in your even late 20s, early 20s, if you are watching my video, I really hope that this can help you, because I wish that I knew about this earlier, about taking care of a hormonal health. How I started was when I was really young. I didn't have the best of health, but I'm not regretting any of these things, because clearly if I didn't go through some of these things when I was a kid, I wouldn't have pursued this journey of learning a lot of things about how to improve my health, how to take care of myself, and being able to really acquire or achieve a lot of things that I have right now. So I am deeply grateful for that. But at the same time, I was in a dark place where my health was not the best, probably about 5 to 6 years ago. And I thought that things were going in the right direction, but it wasn't always the case, which is why I decided to become very strict and went on a carnivore diet journey, which a lot of people still don't understand until today. I was in that phase of trying out keto and then going to carnivore diet. So that's the route that I went into. I'm glad that I did the journey, because if I didn't do those things, I would still be on Accutane. I would still be on some antibiotic or corticosteroids, because I do have autoimmune eczema. So hormonal health is number one for me, and I think it's competing with taking care of my mindset. I wish that I knew both of this at the same time and as much as I do now. It's because I know that if I take care of this back then, I wouldn't have a lot of doubt and fear about, ooh, I shouldn't be eating these things, and then becoming very traumatized with essentially being lied by what's on the media, the food pyramid, things like that. You're following what everybody else is doing. Okay, now you're going to say that everybody was on a carnivore trend and a keto trend. You followed it as well. But at least I made very informed, educated decision that I did not want to touch any form of toxic vegetable oil anymore, because there are signs proving that As much as I believe in my intuition, I also base a lot of my decision based on things that are proven, it's scientific. And I think it is really dumb if we just follow our gut feel and not try to update ourselves with the latest research, because there's a reason why we modernize, there's a reason why we advance ourselves, and all this tech is available. The human mind is just super intelligent, and if we don't tap into some of this information in order for us to make better decisions, then what's the point of being human? So for the ladies out there, I highly suggest that you check out Dr. Mindy Pell's. It's the first few resources that I got into. When it comes to fasting, you cannot fast all the time, and there are targeted ways for you to fast that is according to your cycle. There's a lot of benefit when it comes to fasting, but anything that's done to an extreme is going to cause you a lot of problems. So at one point of time, I was fasting too much. Although it's helped me to clear a lot of things, mental clarity, concentration, I've done a lot of great things when I was fasting. At the same time, I didn't know that there are certain time of the month that you shouldn't be fasting. Please check out Dr. Mindy Pell's, because this is when you're going to educate yourself a lot in terms of your hormonal health, your cycle. I really cannot stress much that ever since I got to know how my cycle works, during ovulation, what you shouldn't and should do, and then right before your period, what are the things that you need to take care of. It's very fundamental things that I really wish if I knew in my early 20s. I probably would have shortened the time where I had to take on medication. I'll probably even skip Accutane as a whole and didn't ruin my gut until today. And so that is something that I think deeply about. Like, even for those of you who are like into workouts right now, I also learned the hard way where once upon a time, when you started feeling very strong at the gym and you have a lot of energy, you think that, ooh, this feels good, I'm gonna do it like every day. So even for women, timing your intense HIIT, endurance, long distance workout, you have to try to customize this according to your cycle. Again, women, if you want to age gracefully, if you want to have quality of life, if you do not take care of your hormone, you have no health. When you have no health, you have nothing else. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is the mindset, right? So I think if I were to rearrange this again, probably the mindset first. It wasn't something that I focused on, and I still cannot comprehend or wrap my head around why I did not go into that, because it just makes perfect sense. You are your thoughts, and I think this is probably because of things that happened in your past, childhood, you're being programmed, certain conditioning, certain things that we go through in life that has maybe not allowed us to be awakened as much as we wanted to. And I think this journey started for me in terms of mastering what's going in here. I think this only became really strong for me in the past 2 to 3 years. It's just that I think sometimes when you are not very aware of yourself and you have not really mastered or not familiar with dealing with your unconscious, your shadow, you tend to neglect those things that are considered like red flags. Some deep conversations with people that are close to me, I got new perspective, and also coupled with the fact that because I still go through certain things in terms of wanting to have mental clarity, trying to manage stress. Sometimes you think that you are already managing stress, but you're not, because your body is showing you signs. Since I was young, I've always battled with skin issues, whether it's rashes, hives, eczema, acne. My body always has a way to tell me that, hey, what you're doing is completely wrong, please stop. Instead of telling myself, why is this happening to me? That was my mindset back then. Now I'm very grateful for the fact that if my skin is trying to tell me something, at least compared to some people who they are unaware of the fact that they are not well, it's just deteriorate over time, and then one day they get really sick. So I'm kind of grateful that it's not me, but I know that those people who are very sensitive, which is I'm that kind of person, if I get a little bit stressed out and I just don't take care of my routine, my skin will tell me, or at least I will start having like sinuses. My body will find a way to tell me. And I think this also goes back to what's in my mind. I think back then, because I was operating from fear and doubt, which is a different kind of frequency, you know. I wasn't operating from the fact that like I have faith, I have hope, I'm fine, you know. I was operating from a lot of darkness where, oh, since I was a kid, I really have so much issues. I don't always feel the best. Why is it that I cannot just do things like the other kids are doing without having all these issues with myself? Therefore, I operated in fear and doubt. Whenever I want to try something new, I just become this traumatized like person. I was already putting in my head that because I fear it, it will definitely happen. Like the bad thing will actually happen. It's like I'm manifesting it in the wrong way. How do you know whether you're operating from fear and doubt? I think it is through a lot of trial and error, and I think one of the tips that I can give you is just remember that when there's a lot of pain, there's going to come a lot of pleasure. When you don't do anything, that is when I think inaction is what causes a lot of depression, because you're lost, you're stuck there and you don't know what to do. And sometimes this paralysis makes you feel like, oh, everything is hopeless. So I think one of the best things that you can do when it comes to this kind of things is to just have faith and hope and take the action and just plunge or just jump in. Like, I know it's easier said than done. A lot of people will say that, oh, I can't just jump in or some shit's gonna happen. So you see how this mindset is what kind of you are like manifesting your failure, right? Because you're like, yeah, I can't jump in because this is going to happen. So it is really as simple as you are what you think. And I've made promises to myself that I cannot control things that is not within me ever. The reason why I get disappointed, anxious, and upset a lot of times is because I realized that I was trying to control things that I cannot control. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I have mastered this entirely, but I must say that with everything that I've mentioned, a lot of awareness, meditation, practicing stillness, reflection of my actions has helped me to become more and more aware. So now I've reached a stage where I can catch myself when I'm about to slip into that old pattern. Oh, there you go. The paranoia is starting, the doubt is coming, the fear is coming. So I think toxic positivity, it's definitely a thing. It doesn't mean that you are going to become delusional and say that, no, you know what, I'm just going to take the risk, nothing's going to happen. Of course not. I think at the end of the day, you just need to be very in tune with whatever that's going through your mind, balancing a bit of reality and balancing a little bit of what could be. So now what has helped me the most is really reminding myself where I'm trying to go, what I'm trying to achieve, and that things that I want in life, when you want, you're going to have suffering, because when you want something is when you don't have it. I think the happiest people are the people who don't want anything, and that's, again, easier said than done. So I've started becoming more aware, and I think that awareness is what has helped me to be more accepting, have more self-compassion, and being able to embrace things, but at the same time having faith in my inputs, my intention, and just being optimistic about things and not completely reliant that it's going to be that way. And I think as long as you have the belief, that's how things comes into reality. Last but not least, something that I wish I knew when I was in my early 20s is to speak the truth, or at least don't lie. So I did a YouTube video about this, in-depth version of where I got this inspiration from, and it's from Jordan Peterson in one of his books, 12 Rules for Life. This concept has really helped me in many areas, but specifically in terms of not just personal but like professional, especially professional. I think women, we are very prone to concealing our emotion, especially with the world today, where emotions are not appreciated. And then a lot of women, I don't know about you ladies, you are being forced to have this like very stoic, hard, strong appearance because you feel like you are not safe and you need to protect yourself. That's why a lot of women end up becoming way more alpha than they should. I believe in equality in terms of the masculine have their own strength and weaknesses, the feminine have their own strength and weaknesses. None of them are superior than another. It's more about the fact that they are supposed to complement each other. It goes back to yin and yang. I highly believe in that. On TikTok, and this lady was talking about how women develop autoimmune issues. And then I was like, wow, this is a very interesting thing. I don't know if I entirely resonated with it, but I just think that there's some things that makes a lot of sense here. Women try to suppress whatever they want to say because women are perceived to be like agreeable, not so ambitious. We are supposed to be like that demure kind of demeanor, and then we cannot have a lot of opinion. But I think world evolves, right? And then I think a lot of women who develop autoimmune issues is because they keep a lot of those unwanted negative things on the inside. Therefore, it manifests itself and then the body starts attacking itself. That's what autoimmune is. So I think for me, some parts of it could have been related, or it's quite true in some sense. I was that person that I have a lot of questions in my head and thoughts, but I did not voice it out because I did not want to hurt other people. I was a people pleaser, right? I didn't want to say certain things in order to make the person feel good, right? Who don't do that? I'm sure you guys can relate to this at one point of time when it's that feeling of people liking you, you feel like you belong, and then you feel like you are seen and heard. But the thing is, we are not vibrating on that authentic frequency. I think back then, authenticity wasn't really a thing, at least. And so that's why a lot of the opinion have to be kept inside. You cannot express yourself too much. You cannot be too emotional. Because back then, I wasn't really spiritual as compared to I am now. Not very much into taking care of my mental health and just taking care of my emotional and spiritual side. Therefore, a lot of this repressed emotions, right, just sits inside, and then I think ultimately it became autoimmune. This could be just a narrative for me to logicalize the things that has happened to me, but having this awareness has allowed me to have a healthier relationship with myself, being able to regulate. And whether it's personal or professional, I have my ups and downs in terms of sometimes I shouldn't say the things that I say, and I did, and I have to deal with the consequence, of course. But I think this has helped me to be more aware of others, and then ultimately be more accountable and be more responsible with the kind of things that I actually want to say. So just to summarize, the 3 key lessons that I wish I knew earlier in my 20s. If you want to have quality of life, if you want to age gracefully, you want to really take in control of your confidence, being really empowered, the 3 key things that has helped me is, number 1, it's to master my mind. You are your thoughts. Everything that is being put out in reality is what's going on in my mind. Number 2, it's about mastering the women's cycle. Understanding how our hormones work, and do not try to believe conventional advice about taking medication. Really empower yourself with the latest when it comes to nutrition, exercise, going back to the basics, nothing that is artificial. And finally, number 3, it's about being able to express myself freely and not holding on things inside that is going to cause me to affect number 1, which is again my mindset. I hope you found this useful. Please share. This can help someone because I know that I've learned a lot from watching a lot of YouTube videos, it has changed my perspective in my life in very positive ways. So please do share. This is how you can support me so that I can continue to deliver contents to you guys. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.